Hi there, I'm Nathan Hawthorne, and today I'm going to be teaching you about two-point perspective. In this lesson, we're just going to focus on drawing a very basic shape in two-point perspective using all the rules that we've learnt so far. So, to start off, make sure that you have a ruler, 30 centimeters at least, a pencil that has been sharpened, or a mechanical pencil, which will be even better, and an A4 piece of paper. Now, to start off with, all we need to do is draw down our horizon line. So, from the top, make sure your page is landscape. From the top, measure down 10.5 centimeters and just put a little mark there. So 10.5 centimeters and a little mark there on the left. And on the right, do the same thing. Measure down 10.5 centimeters and put a little mark right there. Now, very lightly, draw a line from one side to the other. Make sure that it passes through both of those marks that you put down before. That is our horizon line. We can even label that just so you don't forget. There we go. Now, all we need to add is our vanishing points. And of course, because this is two-point perspective, you need two vanishing points. So on the left, we'll measure 1 centimeter from the edge and just put an X there. That will be vanishing point 1, VP1. And on the right, we'll measure across 1 centimeter here, put across there, and that will be vanishing point 2. All right, so we've got our horizon line, we've got our two vanishing points, so now we're good to go. So from the edge of the paper, to get us started, it can sometimes help to put in a center line, just so that it helps us send things, from a foreground to the background. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So on your horizon line, measure from the left side to the center, 15 centimeters. Not perfectly in the middle, but close enough. So 15 centimeters there, and then we'll do the same at the top and the bottom. The reason why we do this multiple times is to ensure that the line is as straight as possible and isn't leaning to the side. If we just measure it once, then it will probably end up leaning. So there we go. That center line. Draw that lightly as well. Okay. So there's our center line with our vanishing point and our horizon line. Let's begin this shape. So from the center right here, make sure that this is the right way around on the centimeter side. Measure 5 centimeters up from the center till you're about here. Okay, so it's 5 centimeters up, and you're going to put a little mark there. And then right here, it's 5 centimeters. I'll just write that at you. Don't forget. Down here, do the same thing. So 5 centimeters downwards, and put a mark there. So we've got these two marks. Excellent. Now line your ruler up with vanishing point 1 and that top mark. And remember the rule that we said, all non-vertical lines, so all lines that are not vertical, must go back to a vanishing point. So we're going to send very light guidelines, which will make dotted lines, just to make clear that they're guidelines. And these will go back to the vanishing points. So there's one. There's another. And it needs to go to the center of the vanishing point, okay? And these are actually lines of perspective. So following all the rules that we've spoken about in the past, giving that impression of depth. All right, so there are our guidelines right there. I'm going to remove these measurements because we don't need them anymore. Okay, all right. Now what I'm going to do, from the center again, is I'm going to measure 5 centimeters to the left and put a mark there, and 5 centimeters to the right and put a mark there. So 5 centimeters from the center that way and 5 centimeters from the center that way, like so. All right. And then I'm just going to draw a straight vertical line in between the two guidelines. A straight vertical line in between the two guidelines. I'll do it there. I'll do it there. Right? So 5 centimeters from there and 5 centimeters from there. All right, good. Still doesn't look like much, does it? But it's starting to come together. So we'll go back to vanishing point 1 and we'll just complete this shape. So make this now a solid proper line there using your guideline. And at the top there on this guideline, do the same thing again. So just solidify that. And then do the same on the right side to vanishing point 2. Solidify that. And then at the bottom, solidify that. Now we can rub out everything that we don't need. So these guidelines can go. Can go. The horizon, remember, will be behind the object because it's where the sky meets the land. So if there's an object in front of it, then we won't see it. So we can remove the horizon that's inside the box as well. And we'll take out our notes, our 5 centimeter notes. Get rid of those guidelines and those guidelines. So here we have a basic cube. I'm just going to solidify this center line one more time. There. I don't really think we need this anymore either. So there and there. And that's it. That's a basic shape in 2-point perspective. 2 vanishing points. We have 2 vanishing points. Each vertical line is parallel to each other, and every other line goes back to one of the vanishing points. Now, if we want to really make this look like it's in 3-dimensional shape or 3-dimensional space, we can just shade one side. So imagine if the light is coming from this side, then let's just add tone here. Right, so I'm just lightly shading this right side. Because this is just a small study, we're not taking time to be too neat. Just like that. So I'll need those edges around there, around there, around there, and around there, and with a 3D shape. Now, one thing that I'll remind you of is that as things go into the distance, so towards the vanishing points, as they get closer towards those, they get smaller. So in reality, this is a cube. This height right here is the same as this height, but they're further back because of the angle. So they appear smaller. We can stress this another way. I'm going to draw another cube, but this one's going to be further back. So I'm going to draw it here on the left. Have a look. So if I just put those guidelines back in lightly, these guidelines back in lightly here as well. And I'm just going to draw a vertical line here. That will be the center line. So basically that. And let's measure sideways 1 centimeter and 1 cent. Oops, probably too small. We'll go with 1.5 centimeters and 1.5 centimeter, like so. And draw a straight line down there. And a straight line down there. Now this doesn't look quite right. Reason being we haven't used vanishing point 2. So back to vanishing point 2. Line it up. I'm just going to draw a line there. and a line there. Remove these two, don't need them anymore, and put in this side line and this side line, and then I'll remove any sort of guideline or line that I don't need that's left. And look at what we have here. Same principle, so all vertical lines are parallel and all other lines go back to one of the two vanishing points. So it's definitely in perspective. All I now have to do is just shade the right side like I have here. And look, we've got another box in perspective, but because it's in the distance, it's closer to the vanishing point, it's further away, it's smaller than this one right here. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to draw along with that. If not, have another watch through this video and pause it after each important point so that you can have a go and get this correct, because this is the basic building blocks of 2-point perspective. Thank you for listening and watch out for our next video.